today, actually, Mercedes looked really good, didn't they?
Yeah, fantastic. And I think it's not surprising, is it? The resource and the brain power, if you like, that they can bring to bear. I know we've got cost cutting and all that kind of tedious stuff to consider, but the work that must be going on, and as someone who doesn't really understand aerodynamics on a tremendous level, I understand things like the Cohand effect and negative and positive pressure and these things that they're dealing with. But I'm a bit surprised that it's taking the teams more time than I thought it would to deal with this porpoising issue. It's almost, as I think Alex touched on, it's almost that Ferrari are just accepting that their car will have that. I know we're at race 3, and they're probably for San Marino, we'll start to see upgrades and not B-spec cars later on, but real kind of changes. But it's an issue I thought they would have started to get on top by now.
Well, I think 2 reasons why it's always going to be a bit tougher for the teams. They will get on top of it, but it will take a while. Because all the flexing of the bodywork also ties in the flexing of the tire as well. And trying to calculate that, that's the last little bit that's really hard to calculate when you develop a car, is how the tire flexes and how that influences aerodynamics. And that's what's happening, really. It just flexes, sucks the car down, and then it cuts the air, and then it pushes back up, and then it sucks it down again.
Yeah.
So it's really, I'm not really surprised to see him take so long on it. And also, we mustn't forget that it's the cost cap as well, which does make it tricky, because they want to make sure that when they do bring updates, when they do spend money on stuff, that it's actually stuff they put into production that actually works. Because the worst thing would be to spend money on something that doesn't work and they just have to chuck it back off the car again. So, I mean, Mercedes, you can't discount Mercedes. They will get there. But like you said, Darren, I don't think they're going to make inroads until we get back to Europe.
I think what Mercedes are very good at doing is that business of switching on the tyres, right? We know the tyre temperatures are very sensitive, and particularly on a track where they go to, which has been resurfaced and so on. I think that's maybe where Mercedes, as much as they haven't got the pace yet, they're able to maximise what pace they have. And let's talk about that in the context of the 2 drivers, because we heard Lewis Hamilton on the radio towards the end of the race not sounding quite as happy as he might be. And no surprise, because George Russell is ahead of him on the racetrack, on the podium, 2nd place now in the Drivers' Championship. Alex, any thoughts on that?
Well, he's a proper racer, isn't he? He doesn't like getting beaten, and the first person you don't want to lose to is your teammate. I mean, we knew this would happen, didn't we, coming to the season, that George would give him a proper fight. And George is not going to be Perez. He's not going to defer to Hamilton. He's going to be feisty. In a way, this is happening. It's not as feisty as it would be if they were number 1 and 2 in the championship. Imagine if they were 1 and 2 in the championship. How many more headlines they would get about Russell beating Hamilton? That's all we'd be talking about. But because they're down in fighting for the lower positions of the podium, top 5, that sort of thing, we're not really talking about it so much. But Hamilton is aware of it, isn't he? You can hear it in his voice. He's upset about it. He was blaming the team for putting him in that position, when really it was just luck of the draw that the safety car came out when Russell was coming in. So there's already some tension. It's not Rosberg yet, tension yet, but it will be.
I thought that was disappointing, and it's something that is kind of disappointing with Lewis. The rust get thrown out of the pram pretty quickly, and as you say, blaming the team, or you've thrown me a curveball here. The team aren't to know when Vettel's going to hit the wall and spray carbon fibre everywhere. That's not in their gift.
Yeah. Do you find that surprising, given how much success he's had, that he's 37 years of age, that he's so mega in so many ways, that this area is still, I don't know, a bit rough?
I don't find it surprising. I think it goes to show a little bit of the character of the guy and the man in the helmet. And I don't mean that to be disingenuous to Hamilton. I mean that more in that he's a racer who wants to win, and it doesn't matter that he's got 7 world titles and was robbed of an 8th. That he still wants to win, and I think that we'll see as the season progresses, if they can't switch that car on, or if George Russell does and Hamilton can't make it suit his style for whatever reason, I think this will get worse. And I think that the psychological issues and the psychological baggage from the shocking incidents in Abu Dhabi last year will really start to weigh heavy on Hamilton. That title that got away, because make no mistake, he desperately wants 8 titles and to beat Michael Schumacher's record.